Hi, I'm Julie Wilson. I'm a chartered financial planner and I specialise in estate planning, which to you and me means making sure your family and not the taxman gets all your money when you die. So inheritance tax is payable on estates that are worth more than £325,000 and it's a very high tax at 40%, so that's almost half of your assets when you die, and that's your house and your savings and everything is taken into account. Now, I think this is a very unfair tax. I get that tax is the price that you have to pay to live in a civilised society, but this is just taking the mickey because it's money that's been taxed again when it's already been taxed once. So my job is to try and protect money so that your family gets it and not the Inland Revenue, so that's what an estate planner is. Inheritance tax really divides opinion because some people think it's fair because it stops the rich from getting richer and the poor from getting poorer. But other people, including me, believe that if you've earned the money during your lifetime, you should decide where it goes when you die. And the other thing that annoys me about this particular tax is that it hits ordinary people. It was never designed to hit ordinary people. It was designed to catch the very wealthy. But at only 325,000, which is the current limit, it's catching more and more ordinary families. So I'm not talking Lord and Lady Bountiful here that we're trying to save a load of money for. I'm talking about saving money for people that have just worked hard and made sensible decisions around money. And I don't see why that should be taken off them when they die. Okay, so what really brasses me off about inheritance tax, or just taxes generally, is how much they're wasted by the government. I was in Parliament the other day and you'd be absolutely amazed how much is spent on their on champagne and biscuits in Parliament. I was astounded by it. And every MEP costs, and we have many of them in this country, costs you, the taxpayer, £2.4 million. The government's already wasted more than £12 billion on trying to computerise the NHS system before they put it back on the too hard to do pile. And this is where all your inheritance tax, this is money that you've earned in your lifetime that's been spent on this complete nonsense, which is why I get so worked up about tax, and that's why my job is to try and save tax for families for the future, because it's just wasted on this nonsense. And the more the government collects, the more ridiculous things they dream up to spend it on. Okay, so unlike most taxes in this country, inheritance tax is largely avoidable. There's a lot you can do about it. I think it was the late MP Roy Jenkins who said inheritance tax is a voluntary levy paid by those people who mistrust their heirs more than they dislike the Inland Revenue. So, it is avoidable. There are some very simple steps you can do to avoid paying inheritance tax. I am so peeved about inheritance tax and that people are not aware of it, and therefore families are paying this tax without realising that I got into a spat on social media recently where people are saying it's not ordinary families that are being affected by this, but it is ordinary families, because you don't have to have a lot of money before you're paying tax on death at 40%. To try and educate people as to what inheritance tax is and who pays it and how it's payable, because one of the other things that people don't realise is it's payable 6 months after death, and quite often that's before you've sold any of the assets in order to be able to pay the tax. So it's payable very, very quickly after somebody's death when you're just trying to deal with the death anyway.